Right? Cowboys information and news around the world. From my mouth to your ears. Let's go. The name is Law Nation. Let's continue to grind, to shine. This is a new day for the 2022 season. The Draft Day Wonders. Right? Come on. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. Be sure to hit that like button. Tell the notification bell to lean forward just a little bit, right? The name is Law Nation. Sharing is caring, Cowboy Nation. Let's go. Yep. It's draft day. Shout out to you. Viva Las Vegas. Come on. Notification swat up, gang up. Come on. Facebook, we're live. Sharing is caring. Come on. Mama said there'll be days just like this. Mama wasn't lying. Come on. There we go. There we go. Here we go. Let's go. See Nick. I see you, fam. Shout out to you, Brooklyn. Joe, what's good? All right, Cowboy Nation, the name is Law Nation, and we will be live a little later on this evening as well. And I'm going to try to be live as many times as I can. As much news and information that goes around with the Cowboys, I want to let you guys hear it. Now, I may not be first with it, but I'm going to be real with it. You know, that's just how it's going to go. Draft day, baby. You ain't lying, fam. You're not lying. Come on. Money making mall. And to some that just not coming back to the fold, I appreciate you for jumping back over because I get it, right? Some people need to take time off. Yep. Some people need to take time off. Some people really need to take time off. And definitely when you look into the Cowboys and all what we've been doing this off season, it'd probably be better for your mental health to take the time off. And now you're recharged up. And now you're ready to see some football, right? And now you're ready to look back at this moment and say, yeah, last year I'm mad, I'm angry at the world, but we were 12-5. And now this is a new year, draft year, right? The draft day is right here in this moment. Your team can be different. And I love that. We need that, right? So, shout out to 105.3 The Fan. We're going to listen to their audio of Ross Tucker. I was wrong a couple of days ago. I said nobody had Parsons over Surtain. Nobody had Parsons over my guy that went off to from South Carolina. What team he went to? The Panthers. You know, nobody had him, over that guy. Man, the name's at the tip of my tongue. J.C. Horn. Thank you. Nobody had him over J.C. Horn. And this Ross Tucker was like, nah, dog. I called it before the draft day, before you can even hear this chime. Yeah. So let's listen to what he have to say, and then I'm going to bounce back. But first and foremost, shout out to my guy, Jerry Reese. He hit me up early this morning as I was dropping the kids off to school so they can get that education, right? He hit me up and said, Law, hey, your dog Zion, he ain't really like that. And, y'all know Zion is my creme de la creme. I would like to have Zion in this particular draft. That's my dog, But I'm not painting myself into a corner. I tell you guys all the time, don't paint yourself into the corner. There are multiple guys that I can look at and say, all right, cool. We can get this guy, and he'll help elevate the team. We can get that guy, he can help elevate the team. We can squeeze. And fool around and get that person, and we can elevate the team. Now, my thoughts, just my thoughts. You stay still where you at. Don't be greedy. Don't try to look at it, and don't be desperate. Don't be desperate. Let me shake my head like my grandfather used to do. You know, my old folks be shaking your head. Look, don't be desperate. Don't be. Be smooth with it. Take your time. Take your time. This draft is thick in the middle of it. And my dogs, let me give my dogs over here, man. I got to get my dogs up out of here. And my dog, Big Game James and Boss Cowboy, they explained it to me because I was really like, man, I'm going to stay still like a tree planted by the water. I shall not be moved, right? I didn't want to move. I wanted to stick right there at 24. But if you're going to move, moonwalk back just a little bit if you're going to move. Shout out to you, Jason Lay. Thank you for jumping in. Jordan Davis. Look, Jay Lombardi, if Jordan Davis there at 24, then you hear that sound, then you, right? But if he's not, then you don't sell the farm for him. And shout out to Norm Hiskins. I did the video just yesterday about my explanation on Devin Lloyd, and shout out to Devin Lloyd. And before people bang the table and say, Law, well, you can get Quay Walker, he's better than Devin Lloyd, and blah, blah, blah. Dude had 7. Let me just tell y'all. If you pick Devin Lloyd up and put him on the Ohio State, if you put him on the Georgia's team, or if you put him on another team, basically, they get all of their spotlight and their love outside of Utah, we'll be talking about a whole different conversation. And that is the craziest thing about the draft. It's hard to isolate a player from which system that they played in and what level of competition that they played in juxtaposed to another team, right? So Dak need to not be greedy when making plays. Yeah, shout out to EJ Versing. You're right. So Devin Lloyd, 7 sacks, 4 interceptions. Let me repeat, 7 sacks, 4 interceptions last season. And the dog, tackle for loss, is getting down there, shooting through the A or the B gap. I haven't seen a linebacker that's coming out of this particular draft with that type of versatility as it relates to sack, blitzing through the interior, going through there, manning up, playing that mic rolls, playing on the edges, covering, being stingy. The brother is stingy. Now, could you find another player down the draft line, the pipe, that's not worth all of that, of moving up? Yeah. Yeah. You can flat out can, Cowboy Nation. You can. But we going back to saying, okay, from what I was able to see from their collegiate career until now and going into the draft and who you want to use as a valuable asset, sometimes you just got to pull the trigger. But don't trade up and give away everything, because this is the thing. By the meat and by the thick of this draft, into the thick of it, by the thick of this draft, being in the second and third round, that's where you want to accumulate your picks. That's where you want to accumulate your situation of having more versus getting rid of that value spot. And case in point, nobody can out-debate me with this because it's facts. There are more Hall of Famers, those with the gold jackets, in the National Football League that's in the second and third and fourth round, right? So the first round, that's just the sugary stuff, right? I want the substance. I don't want the 0 calories, Come on, Cowboy Nation. Shout out to my guy, Black Yoda. I'd rather be strong up the middle on both sides of the ball. Before you get your weapons, the trenches have to be in place and in the right positions. You're right. You're right, fam. I can't argue that. I can't argue that. I flat out can't argue that. when you say a strong front seven, linebackers are a part of that. Linebackers are a part of the core. When we say strong front, we want that front seven to be strong. You see, it's crazy, even in the terminology of the word and of the language of the positions. Secondary, right? If your first dairy is not strong, see, a lot of people don't talk about first dairy, right? But if your secondary is strong, it don't matter. It don't matter. I've literally seen with my natural eyes Deion Primetime Sanders get burnt like toast, to get abused and used left and right. Why, Law? Why? Tell him that is human nature. No, but in seriousness, when he was in Atlanta, just type in Emmitt Smith versus Atlanta. I think Emmitt Smith versus Deion Sanders, and you will see a video. It got over 3 million views. Troy Aikman, the playmaker, Emmitt, versus little old Neon Deion, getting burned left and right. Why? Secondary was good, but their core, horrid. Burnt him so bad he was flipping the tables over. Good thing they didn't have Twitter during that time frame. He would have been a meme. Shout out to you, Jake the Great. I'm gritty. Law Jerry needs to roll the dice one last time for Jordan Davis or Devin Lloyd. It still depends. I'm not finna have Jerry to roll the dice to climb up from 24th pick all the way down to the 10th or the 9th pick, and then you lose out in the 2nd and 3rd round, or you lose out next year's first or in this year 3rd. I'm not finna do all of that, but I feel you. I like Big Jordan Davis, and I like Devin Lloyd. But we're not finna cut our legs off from under our feet, nor remove our nose to spite our face. No. Wisely, they shouldn't do that.
That audio from last year, but that guy
here it is from 105.3.
Or that lady. That's unbelievable job. That's why you guys are the best in the business. That's amazing.
105. They are the best in the business.
Feel free to email me that clip. Everything about that was awesome, including
Let me know if y'all can hear the audio.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, yesterday when I was like, let's get Ross on again, RJ was like, do we have to? We really don't need to. And I was like, no, we need a new pick at number 24.
He's talking to Kobe Dean. That's the guy who wants to take another linebacker.
Offensive line specialist. So, Ross, please bless us with the information.
Shout out to everybody that's watching.
The
Audio check is good. Appreciate you.
In the first round at 24 or somewhere else if they decide to move.
You know who they should not want? An offensive lineman, like I'm seeing in every single mock draft.
Oh, no.
Wow. Okay.
I don't get it. I don't get it. First of all, okay, whoever they draft at 24, I don't think they're going to be better this year than Biotish or McGovern. Those guys are fine for this year. McGovern's in a contract year. I think he'll be fine. If McGovern...
All right, let's pause it right here, Cowboy Nation. Shout out to Tucker. Who is with the belief that you are willing... Let's say you are willing to... Let me frame it better. I was going to frame it better the first time. Okay, so who is with the opinion? Yeah, that's the better way to say it. Who is with the opinion that the Cowboys should just say, hey, you know what? Connor McGovern, we get it. When we kick you at left guard last year, that was pretty much like building the plane while it's in the air. We're going to put you through the all OTAs, training camp, far as reps for left guard, and Tyler Biotish, this is a situation where we got to see more out of you at that spot, and we're going to keep you at center. Who is with the belief that the Cowboys should keep it just the same? Tyron Smith, Josh Ball as the backup, Connor McGovern at left guard, Tyler Biotish, Matt Farniok is his backup, and, of course, Zach Martin, he ain't going nowhere, right? And then you have Terrence Steele. Who is with that belief of rolling the dice and saying, you know what, we're going to solidify something else with this first pick, with the 24th pick, and think about it. And into the meat of it, the Cowboys can literally look at it in the second and third round and say, dog, we really wanted to get guard. We really wanted to get somebody to solidify that. But, dog, come on, Cowboy Nation. We can't pass up on this wide receiver, or we can't pass up on this defensive player because we're going by the BPA approach. And I'm not saying you draft for need, right? But if on their draft board at the 24th spot, if a guard is the best player available, then dog it, they shouldn't look at it and overlook at it and say, well, you know what, we're going to roll the dice and just keep what we have at offensive line. Let me see. I agree. DEF play or wide receiver. Okay, too cool. You saying you agree, just go with defensive player or wide receiver. I feel you. And I could be. TC88 says he's willing. He's willing to, this is the best way the Cowboys should have approached this. They should have filled in a hole a little bit during the free agency on the front end, right? But I digress. We don't know how this thing is going to shake out. Cowboy Sports Report by Charles in Charge. Appreciate you. He's a fool, Law. We hit on a guard on round one, like number 72 or number 70. Everything else falls into place. Defense will be fine, and with an effective offensive line, our offense will move. But let me hear this man all the way out because I haven't heard the audio all the way. So let me hear what he got to say. I apologize for stopping the audio because I need to hear his full synopsis of his reasoning. So let's listen.
Actually gets all the reps in OTAs and all the reps in training camp at left guard. I think he'll be fine. I am sick and tired of the Cowboys not winning playoff games. I'm sick and tired.
You ain't the only one, Ross.
Maybe next year. I mean, guys, think about the O-line you had with Frederick and Martin and Tyron Smith in their prime. You had Dak on a rookie contract.
Right.
You had Zeke on a rookie contract.
Right.
All the receivers. I mean, I'm not coming here to poop on you guys this morning, but has any organization done less with more?
Yeah,
Ho. I already have the answer to the test. And I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of not winning playoff games, even though I'm not playing the game. But the Cowboys went on a decade and a half with a coaching staff that was developing, that was learning. It's not our fault. The Cowboys had talent. That's the reality of it. They had talent. You can't paint a picture to me and say, well, if you had Parcells for that stretch of time. You can't paint a picture to me and say that we will still have these same playoff woes if we didn't have a legitimate coach. And I gave you guys analogy after analogy, and then people tend to fall back on the player. And they would say, well, it was Tony Romo that choked up into the playoffs. No, because what happened is that the Cowboys depended on Romo to carry the team. They depended on Romo. And I'm just before I even get to Dak Prescott, by the way. But let me just go all the way back. They depended on Romo to carry the team. And that's why he got broken down, beat up and disgusted, because it was too much burdens on one player. And when you look at it, there was no scheme, there was no philosophy philosophy for the good part of 10 years. There was no situation whereas in the last decade and plus did you look into a game and say, hey, by coaching staff alone, we're going to out-scheme said opponent. No, we out-talented our teams. Theirs had the ability to out-talent the opposition. Tony Romo, drawing up plays, was able to improvise to outsmart the opposition. There was no scheme put into place. There was no strategy put in of a philosophy of how we're going to attack and win. So that's why when you look back since 2010, that the Cowboys had the most all-pros than any other team. 9 of them. And excuse me, all-pros is not a makeup contest. No, that's when the writers and everybody else remove all of the politics out the way, and they judge you based off of your merit and your skill set alone. That goes all the way back to the coaching staff and philosophy. Like I tell people all the time, I can literally go get a Mercedes, a Ferrari. Now I probably had to put too much down for a Ferrari, but I know I can get a Mercedes. I know I can get pre-approved for a Mercedes, and I can give it keys to my daughter. At the tender age of 6, she won't know what to do with that car. She wouldn't know how to operate it. And that's our expectations. For Jerry Jones to look at Jason Garrett. And shout out to Jason Garrett. You meet him once, he'll always leave you with a warm feeling. He's a good guy. Great smile, strong handshake. That's been our issue more so than the Cowboys been underachieving in the playoffs. If you think I'm lying, you took a head coach and you converted him to an offensive coordinator and couldn't get over 18 points a game in Giants land. I digress.
Over the last 7 years.
Yeah, we know all that,
We know
Ross.
it all.
We're trying to, we're trying to move past that. We're
Happy
trying to
draft
move
day.
forward.
So my point is, guess what's not going to help you win a playoff game this year? Taking Kenyon Green, okay? Or look, I love Zion Johnson. I think he's awesome, and if they take him, that's fine. But I would rather see them get a difference-making player this year. I wouldn't hate a receiver because CeeDee Lamb is going to want insane money after this season, and we don't know about Gallup coming off the injury. So I kind of like the idea of having another weapon to more or less replace Amari Cooper, like a Treylon Burks from Arkansas or a Jahan Dotson from Penn State. But really, I'd probably rather see them go D-line. I think I'd rather see them go
Who be D-line?
defensive line. You know what nobody's ever said? We have enough D-linemen. We have enough
true
good
that.
defensive linemen.
True
And
that.
there's a lot of different ways they could go there. They could go Devontae Wyatt from Georgia inside. They could go Karlaftis, who's an all-day sucker. The thing about DN, though, is they did get Fowler, and I really want Micah to rush off the edge all the time. So I'd rather have somebody that can rush from the inside and that can be a D tackle and also rush from the inside. So I'm going to say Devontae Wyatt from Georgia.
Okay.
The moment the Cowboys pick up Devontae Wyatt from Georgia, this will be the headline news, and I promise you, I can bet you my bottom dollar they're going to bring it up. The Cowboys drafted Devontae Wyatt with the 24th pick, and we are now hearing news that, yes, it was actually domestic violence in 2020, that he kicked down the door of said girlfriend, allegedly, and he was attempting to choke and slap her from the neighboring people that's in their dorm room. Is this more of a problem of distractions for the Cowboys? Are the Cowboys making the right type of decisions? Should he And then Molly gets on TV. I remember back in middle school, the dude. Y'all remember that? Molly was crying all types of tears with Ezekiel Elliott, who never been arrested, by the way, on ESPN. All of a sudden, domestic violence is something she cared about, right? I think she's a Giants fan, I believe. And they had a kicker to lock his wife up into a room. I forgot his name. I think his last name was Brown. Didn't shed a tear. Didn't cry a teensy. But all of a sudden, when the Cowboys pick up something like that, baby, it will be all over the four corners of the universe, or the metaverse. That's a better way to say it. And when we think about it, a lot of people are sleeping on Neville Gallimore. Oh, I get it. The same analogy that he used with Connor McGovern and Tyler Biadasz. So you come to tell me, now granted, I'm not saying that Davis nor Wyatt won't be a good situation, but it'll be more of a thing of, hey, can this guy get some reps? You think those boys going to lay down? Even Tristan Hill is in a contract year. Yeah. Somebody said cue the X-File music. Yeah. Somebody said he loved Nivell. He's not a one take. He's more of a three. Shout out to you, family. It's Jay Lombardi. I believe that Nivell is a good three tech. But I seen him lined up at 0, and I seen him play down at that one tech as well. Here's the thing. If you think that Nivell gained some weight last year, right? The boy looking wide, and he on the chart, on the depth chart, he was showing that he was 306. I said, no way. He looked like 325. Boy built wide. He's grow this way. He grows this way, basically. But I get what you're saying, right? And they signed Carlos Watkins, and they have Big Bo Hanna. So it normally takes for defensive guys, the interior guys, a good solid 2 to 3 years before you can start seeing them move some stuff around. And I'm not saying that if you go get a Wyatt or a Davis, because y'all know how I feel about Davis, that we didn't pretty much just wasted that situation with Big Bo. And I'm not saying that Big Bo should be one of those guys that's starting immediately and not have a competition aspect of it. But what I'm collectively saying is it's going to be a hard situation for those boys to get out there, especially on the level of the way this guy pretty much coach up that defensive front. Now, would we be better? Yeah. But you still have that big old hole on your offense. And the last I checked, the most important asset for this team, the valuable asset for this team, regardless of how you look at it, is Dak Prescott, the quarterback. When starting, didn't have a losing season outside of the pandemic year. But it is what it is. Sounds like we good. We're going to go linebacker. This is from Terrence. Appreciate you. Or it was Terrell. Appreciate you. But let's listen to more what he had to say.
I'm pretty stunned that you're pretending like the Cowboys' offensive line is fine and dandy.
Okay, let me add real quick, because you know, if you look at some of their win rates and stuff, their offensive line was still like top 10 last year. Did we overrate how bad the offensive line was?
Correct. Listen, Connor Williams is gone, okay? So that's 4 penalties a game that you guys won't commit, which is good. Okay. I
Collins is
think
gone?
McGovern's. Yeah. I mean, I think I don't love the Collins being gone, but I think Steele's fine, and we saw that.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand the whole Collins thing if you're trying to win the Super Bowl this year. And this is my issue with the Cowboys. Whether it's Randy Gregory or La'el Collins or Amari Cooper, on any of these individually, you can say, okay, well, yeah, he's not worth that money, or okay, we got to do this. They're not better. They're not better than they were last year. I would be so frustrated if I were a Cowboys fan. It's not even funny. But my point is, even if you get Zion Johnson or Kenyon Green, especially Zion Johnson, I'd be really happy about. But Kenyon Green's a little up and down. I'm not convinced he's better this year than Connor McGovern would be in his fourth year. So what are we really doing? Are we getting
Now that, my guy, I'm going to have to talk to him about. I done fool around, and now I hear what Tucker is saying. He said Kenyon Green, not Zion, because my guy, he texted me. He was like, hey, Kenyon Green is okay, but Zion, so he had it backwards. And I get it, right? Kenyon Green, he does show you that up and down situation, and then with the knee, that could be a problem. And if you're talking about strength, if we just going about strength again, talking about that, can Kenyon get to the second level, move stuff out the way? Yes. But the consistency level, and he only threw around a 225 20 times. There's people in this chat right now that if I had $1,000 on the line and I gave you 2 weeks to prepare, you'd say, shoot, Law, I'm going to give you 21. I'm going to throw the 225 around 21 times to beat Kenyon Green 20 times. And I'm going to take that $1,000 from you, Law. Don't put that on the line. Somebody say, sure, Law, I'll do it right now. I'll bench press 225 25 times right now for 500. There's somebody in this chat watching right now that Kenyon Green couldn't do that. He couldn't muster out 225, baby, at 330. He couldn't do it. So it goes back to the same issue that we had with Connor Williams. Pig says, Con said, yeah, I give you 21 right now. Put them on, baby. Put the iron on right now. Somebody gonna hit me up before I leave this video and shoot me a video of them on Instagram. Saying, Lord, I'm playing around with 225. Now my brother, shout out to him, Ben Tay, he bench pressing 405, just throwing it around. I was like, God dog, boy. I already know I got me a bodyguard. I'm going to have to show you my brother, my big brother. Oh, my gosh. I could do 2. Now I could probably give you 3 pushes right now. I haven't been in the weight room in a minute. I haven't been in the weight room since the pandemic. The pandemic. Yeah. My guy MODA said he would do it for $100. He would do it for $100. I believe you. I believe you just got some big boys up in here in this chat right now. But I'm not trying to throw any dirt or any shame or shade toward Kenyon Green. He's a young brother. He can get his mind straight, and then he can say, hey, man, that day I was trying to hold one back, man. I had the IBS going on, and I ain't want to strain and have fecal matter everywhere. So that's why I didn't really squeeze it out more than 20 times. I had to use the restroom. It could be just that. And Zion, he was throwing that thing around 32 times, right? That's 12 more reps. That's stronger, baby. And I'm not saying that just because you can bench press, you can play better. But what I'm looking at is consistency. And if you have a level of issues with consistency now, what you think these boys going to do when they get that paycheck coming in the mail, right? Well, electronically deposited, But listen.
Kenyon Green to be the swing guy? Really? You got to take a swing O-lineman in the first round? Maybe second round. Maybe third round. I want to take a guy in the first round that I know is going to get a lot of snaps this year and be a difference-making player. I'm not sure either one of those interior linemen would be better than McGovern and would really make a difference this year.
NFL insider Ross Tucker joining us to preview the draft tonight here on Sean and RJ. Give us the players that you absolutely love.
Who you love, baby?
That are expected to go tonight, just up and down the board. Who do you love?
Yeah, well, so one guy that jumps out for sure is Kyle Hamilton. I think it's a total joke that he's supposedly falling because he decided to try to run a faster 40 time at his pro day.
What he ran?
He ran a 4.59 at the
that's
combine.
decent. That's
okay,
decent.
At 6'4", 220. Ed Reed, maybe you heard of him.
Yeah.
He ran a 4.57. And if you watch those guys, they just play faster than everybody. He's 6'4", 220.
I love Kyle Hamilton, but he always say it with me. He ain't Ed Reed now. Come on. I love his temperaments. I love his skill set at 6'4". I love what he can do out there on the collegiate level and going to this pro level. We would still have our eyeballs open, but he ain't Ed Reed.
He could play linebacker, but he's playing a safety. So he runs the pro day at Notre Dame. It's freezing, and he runs a 4.7. Who cares? We saw him at the combine run a 4.59. Now people are like, yeah.
Oh, he ran a 4.7?
That position is just not that important. You know what position is really important if you don't have a good one? Safety. Why do you think these guys, Marcus Williams from the Saints,
Shati Sadiq,
Justin Reed to Kansas, why do you think these guys get so much money? Because if you have a guy that can be a difference maker at that position, you need him. You want him. You pay for him. Same thing with interior O-line, by the way. Everybody's like, oh, you don't take an interior O-lineman that high. Oh, really? But then you're going to pay Brandon Sheriff $18 million a year? How does that make any sense? But I love Kyle Hamilton. Here's who I love. I love the guys that when they stopped playing college football this year, we said, oh, that's a number 1 pick or that's a top 5 pick. And then somehow now they're supposed to go 12, 13. What happened? He didn't play any football games. What are you even talking about?
Right,
Love
right.
Kyle Hamilton. Very, very intrigued by Jordan Davis. And look, everybody's like, oh, but what about the Pat? He only played 20 snaps. Listen, there's a guy, Jermaine Johnson, had to transfer to even get playing time. He's going to be a top 10 pick. I mean, of course Jordan Davis didn't play every down. They didn't need him to play every down because they had Devontae Wyatt. They had 13 guys that are going to get drafted. Unbelievable over the last couple of years.
Look, guys, that Georgia team, it's fanatic, man. It's fantastic. That's a better word to say. It's fantastic. When you start watching Georgia tape and you isolate that front seven, right? You will say, God, dog. And it's hard to evaluate. Like Trey Walker, is he really that good? Or was he getting that pressure because of Wyatt and Davis, right? And on top of that, people looking at the twist stunts and then how he was able to get free and things like that. Quay Walker, the Kobe Dean. So Georgia, Nintendo, it's hard to evaluate and put a stamp on Georgia, man. Those boys, man, the recruiter for Georgia, man, it's just been phenomenal, and even like a couple of years back when I was looking at Stokes tape, I was like, yeah, DBs, they coming out looking good. So it's hard, Cowboy Nation, to look at Georgia tape and thinking that you're going to pull one of those guys off of that team and insert him on your team and say, okay, let me get the same results. Let me get the same. It's hard. That's one of the hardest things to really evaluate. But it is what it is. But far as the reps, is he an every down lineman or what have you? And do you want him to play every down? No. I would look at Big Jordan Davis as a guy that most sacks for defensive guys, interior guys especially, happens in the third and fourth quarter. And I want that pressure to be applied and continue to be applied with all type of twists, stunts, and straight manning up, lining them up over the center. I want it to be not something that a team can just take a beat on and say, okay, this is how we're going to challenge the opposing team, right? No. Shoot, I can think of a package where you line Davis right at 0. And then right before the snap, I take Parsons and I climb him right down, squeeze right into the squeeze right into the A gap. The doggone center going to be like, hey, wait a minute, hold on. This is going to be a false start. It's going to be a situation that all of a sudden you looking at that package and you saying like, hey, D-Law gets home now, right? Dante Fowler said, hey, look who you came to say. There's packages that you can do just like that. And then right when they get accustomed to that, Parsons fool around and go back over to the C. Get onto the edge. Drop back in coverage. There's a lot of things you can do. I'm not looking for a guy to get 3 downs. I'm looking for a guy that can make some plays, right? Impact. Take the ball away. All of our DBs, if you like what the DBs did as far as an improvement year last year, right? Anthony Brown, as much as we throw shade and salt at him, this was his best year last year ever, right? One can argue Jordan Lewis as well. Can you imagine them already got their feet into this thing and they already comfortable with this particular system? Shoot. Them boys can then really sit on routes. We can play the true cover 3 defense.
I've seen enough of his highlights to think there's more there. And that's another one, by the way. When those guys are free agents like a Linval Joseph or, Brandon Williams, those guys get paid. Those like stud run-stuffing D tackles.
They do get paid.
And I think he's more than that. I think he could be like Haloti Ngata. Yeah. I think I'd be shocked. This is my number one prediction for tonight.
Beta.
The Baltimore Ravens take Jordan Davis, the D tackle from Georgia, at number 14. Like, he has Raven written all over him, which is going to be devastating for me because I'm working for the Eagles the next 3 nights, and I really would love if they got him at 15, the next pick.
Yeah.
What are they going to do besides Jordan Davis on your wish list?
Yeah, everybody keeps saying receiver again, which would be amazing. That'd be the 3rd straight year the Eagles be taking a receiver in the first round, which I'm fine with in the sense that, look, Rager's Rager.
Far as the Eagles, if it's broke, don't fix it. They do the inverse, man. Continue drafting those wide receivers. I can literally see the Eagles drafting a wide receiver, and whoever it may be, it falls right on their faces, and I wouldn't be mad at it. But they do got a guy that I really like out of Alabama. He is the Slim Reaper for the Eagles, number 6. So I think that he's going to step it up again this year. And that's just the reality of it. But going to the Eagles land, I'm not worried about it. They gonna throw it to us anyway, right?
He's a sunk cost at this point, so you can't not take a guy because of that. But the Eagles need someone on defense. I mean, they could use a D tackle, they could use a D end, they could use a linebacker, they could use a safety, they could use a corner. So I would rather see them with both their first round picks get 2 defensive starters. Maybe Trent McDuffie, the corner from Washington. It's so funny.
Pretty
he's
good.
A really good player, but because he's not like 6'2" with crazy long arms,
5'8",
nobody
5'9".
gets excited about him. Maybe he needs a better nickname like Sauce. I don't know. But he's good. He's just a good player.
Little
Who
Duck.
goes number 1?
Trayvon Walker from Georgia is going to go number 1, which is pretty remarkable because that's another guy that, there's a lot of decisions, and everybody has to make the decision that they think is best for them.
Right.
Aiden Hutchinson is a double, maybe a triple. Trayvon Walker is a single, maybe a home run.
Okay.
And Trent Baalke in Jacksonville wants to go for the home run. He's betting on the incredible physical tools of Trayvon Walker over the proven production of Hutchinson. It's the same decision some of these teams are going to have to make at quarterback. Do they go with Kenny Pickett, who is good right now, and you can feel good that you can win games with him?
All right, man, before he go a little bit further into this, man, who in this chat is sold on Trayvon Walker over Aiden Hutchinson and Thibodeau? Like real talk. Who in this chat? I want to know. Have the conversation with me. Even though I don't care, even if you are a Georgia Bulldog, graduated with them, super cum laude, even if you graduated, valedictorian, it don't matter. Let me know, how do you feel about that dog, Trayvon Walker? And what would you feel, and how would you feel if you had the number 1 overall pick and you pick him? TC88 says no way. And watch. Trayvon Walker would be that guy to have 18 sacks, right? That's how crazy the world is. But I just don't see it, and I could be 1,000% wrong on Trayvon Walker. I could be. I could be. That Aiden Hutchinson, he's pretty good. That boy is good. I'm taking Hutchinson. Yeah. I'm going to go with the mystery bag. It goes all the way back to Peter Griffin. I was I love Family Guy, and my brother can contest to this. He went on this show, this sports show or something like talk show, and they said, "Hey, you have won a yacht. You have won a yacht, and then you also have a chance to pick the yacht or the mystery bag." And the mystery bag it was a bag literally this big, and Peter Griffin was like, "A yacht, but the mystery bag, it could be a bigger yacht." That joker, he chose the mystery bag all the time. Oh my gosh, man! I'm gonna have to pull that video up, man.
No.
He pulled the mystery bag, and the bag was literally like this big. It could have been a key to a bigger yacht, right? Man, go with the proven commodity, man. Don't go with the mystery. But it is what it is. The mystery could be a bigger key to that yacht, though. You're right.
Or
to
you go
another
for
yacht.
Malik Willis and think maybe you are getting your Josh Allen, you're getting your Patrick Mahomes. My guess is that it depends on whether or not you need to win this year or not. Like if Carolina takes a quarterback.
Hang on, Ross.
I bet you pick it.
Let
Yeah.
me set this up, because tonight we're focusing on the Cowboys at 24, but on the show there's a shock collar bet. If a quarterback goes in the top 10, our producer Troy has to put on the shock collar and get lit up during the show.
Gosh.
If one doesn't go in the top 10, RJ will be putting on the shock collar. Is a quarterback going to be selected in the top 10 tonight?
Yeah.
Oh my God! How many times do
gosh.
you get shocked?
A whole segment.
Oh wow.
Oh my God!
They do that. That's wow.
Who pulled the audio? Was it Troy? I gotta see.
Troy pulled the audio.
Yeah.
But he does not believe a
man.
quarterback is worthy or that one will go top 10.
None of them are maybe worthy of it, but I think one of them is going to go.
Wow.
I don't think they're gonna. I don't think Carolina is going to take one at 6. I don't think Atlanta is going to take one at 8. And then even at 9, I don't think.
Wait a minute. I don't see. Look, who's right now the Panthers quarterback, and who's the quarterback for Atlanta? I don't see Atlanta passing up on Malik Willis. I just don't see it. Now they could very much so do such, right? But quarterbacks, y'all know how quarterbacks go. People get quarterbacks wrong all the time. Shoot. People get quarterbacks wrong all the time. And you got to, at this point, Donald and Mariota, look, man, they better, look. I've seen people say that, what was this guy name? Not the quarterback for. He was a first round draft pick. What was that quarterback name that was a first round draft pick for the Cards? His name is at the tip of my tongue, and I think it was Josh Rosen, not Josh Allen, right? And they was literally saying that Josh Allen is not Josh Rosen, because we end up calling him Josh Frozen, right? That he's a sure can't miss pick. Or was it Matt Rosen? What was his name? Rosen. Josh Rosen. Yeah, Jay Lombardi, appreciate you. Can't miss pick. He is going to be the next such and such. He's going to be da-da-da. He can walk on water. We didn't see him turn water into wine. You know, the dude can disappear and reappear. He got an arm, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, he's gone. But all of a sudden, this year draft, people know how to evaluate. That's the craziest thing. Now people know how to evaluate quarterbacks. Watch. All of a sudden, now people know how to assess quarterbacks. There's one of these quarterbacks is going to be drafted this year going to the Hall of Fame. Watch. Watch. Because the scale is just off. One of these guys going to the Hall of Fame out of this class. The 2022, mark my words, 20 years from now is going to be one of these guys going to the Hall of Fame from this draft class. Because so many people talking ill will of this draft class quarterback. Arm talent. Yeah. Ryan Leaf. Oh, yeah. Boy, it was crazy, huh? Ryan Leaf versus Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning. And to be fair, Peyton Manning had a horrible, horrible first year, like 25 interceptions, 30 interceptions, something like that. But he had things put in place for him since day one. A good offensive line, a great running back, a Hall of Famer running back. Put it like this. Peyton Manning had literally 2 Hall of Famer running backs. Marshall Faulk, right? And then when Marshall Faulk left, they went and got Edge. He had a Hall of Fame career. Oh yeah. The USC quarterback, Matt, Lanier, yeah. Look, say what you want. I think Vince Young just went to the wrong team. I like Vince Young. I just think that he went to the wrong absolute team. But it is what it is.
I think Seattle's going to take one either. I don't think it's going to happen. Now, it's kind of stunning, and you'd think one of them would. But if I had to pick right now, I'd say they don't.
Why would Houston and the Giants and I guess even Detroit, if you want to make that case, why would they not want to take one?
Detroit's going to take a quarterback at 32, I believe. The Giants are giving Daniel Jones one more year, and Houston likes Davis Mills. That's the answer. But Atlanta and Seattle at 8 and 9, they really should take one. I mean, they got nobody, and they have a great chance to get the number one quarterback off the board. Here's what I would say to you, though.
Somebody would get shot.
Not a single mock draft has either one of those teams taking a quarterback. So if they do, I should say, they've done a really good job of keeping it quiet. Really good job.
Yeah. I mean, I went back to 2017, and like Mahomes and Watson, they were all outside the first round, and they both went in. It's just, I wonder if there's undervaluing quarterbacks in the mocks.
I wouldn't be shocked. I think it's a great bet.
Hey, what pick do the Giants have this year? What number do the Giants have this year? Appreciate everybody for watching. Be sure, if you're watching right now, hit the like button, share this content. If you like what we're doing right now, hit the like button. If you don't, still hit the like button and share this content. Get the likes up. Get the engagement up for me. They have 5 and 7. I mean, if you are, I ain't going to tell the Giants how to draft, but if you believe in Danny Dimes, if you believe in Danny like that, then you stay put. But if you the new coach of that organization and you want to work with a clean sheet of paper, sometimes you have scratch sheets of paper and you're trying to develop something and get your philosophy and your thing going, shoot, you start with a clean sheet. You start with a clean sheet of paper. You just do that. That's the reality of it. But if you want to try to mess with something else and try to reconfigurate that, then much love for you, fam. But give me a fresh sheet of paper so I won't be clouded with my assessment. That's my only advice I can do with the Giants. Oh, they got Tyrod? Well, that's a mute point then. So, yeah, Danny gone then. If they got Tyrod Taylor and he already been with that offensive coordinator, well, with that head coach there, then, yeah. If they got Tyrod, I didn't know that. I forgot all about that, if that's the case. Listen to more what they had to say.
Now I have something else to root for. That's all at this stage of my life, I just want things to root for.
Well, who do you want to get shocked?
Oh, RJ.
Man. Yes.
Dang it.
Yes. The Tolos
Troy
are.
pulled the audio,
Troy pulled the
and
audio.
RJ still tries to make excuses for his mic event last year.
That's yes.
Because I didn't get into Princeton.
That's why
I didn't get in.
That's why Russ Tucker's my guy, even though he doesn't know anything about offensive linemen. But he's still my guy, man.
Russ, thank you, brother. Have a great time with the coverage. We'll check in with you soon. Thank you as always.
Enjoy it. See you, dudes.
That was Odyssey NFL Insight.
Shout out to them, man. Let me share the audio link. Just go here, go to the 7:20 time marker, the 7:20 timestamp, and you'll hear that full audio without me pausing and rewinding if they don't already have it on YouTube or the website 105.3 The Fan, the cut-up version. But there's the link. Is in the chat right there, so click on that link and be sure to share their content. Shout out to 105.3 The Fan, and they will be doing draft coverage as well. There'll be a lot of people doing draft coverage today. So I suggest people to bounce around, gather opinions and thoughts from all Cowboys content creators or outside content creators. I think that this night, at the end of the day, should be a good night. You know, it should be a good night, and it should be a level of optimism regardless. And even if, and this is one thing that I got to make sure, and I'm going to tell you guys, there's the analytical version of me, and then there's a fan version of me. I'm going to try to give you guys both, right? So that's just how it goes. You guys shouldn't look at me. People, what tend to happen is people will hold me to a higher standard than the analytical people, right? The draft pundits or what have you, the people that's on the 4-letter and 3-letter network. Don't hold me to that high standard. I don't have access to everything. A lot of my passion goes from the gut. It's raw. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be raw, and I'm not right. And so tonight, allow me to have my emotions. That's all I'm saying. Don't have me to be like this. Yeah, that pick was fantastic, and here are the pros, and here's all the cons, and this guy, blah, 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 blah. No. I want to be like, yeah, mother suckers, Let me be live. Let me be ready. And there are about 4 to 5 guys that fall to their 24th spot that I'm going to be like, yeah, because I'm thinking how this thing can ultimately look down the line. On top of that, Cowboy Nation, even if it's a pick that I do not agree with, can I have that emotion, Because some people will be day 1 people, and some people like me with Parsons, I was like a day 3, like a day 4, when I really got a chance to look at everybody's tape and look at the bigger picture, right? But don't hold my feet to the fire, right? If the Cowboys do something crazy or if the Cowboys do something extreme, like all of a sudden, we sitting at the draft, we got the party, we got the libations going, we got the bang bang shrimp and everything, the waitress is banging and the food is good and everything, the atmosphere is live and lit, and then you hear breaking news, the Dallas Cowboys now traded away 3 first-round draft picks to move up to get such and such. I'm going to be like, they did what? So it could be that. Or the Cowboys fool around and news out of Frisco. Now the Cowboys decided to move out of the first round. And we sitting there all day like, whoa, wait a minute. I thought we was going to get down tonight. I thought we was going, let's get down to business, you know. You know, and we fool around, move out of the first round. There's no first round pick for the 2022 Dallas Cowboys. We sit there all day like, well. And we have multiple picks day 2, what have you, you know. But it is what it is. Jerry wants it now, though. You know, Stephen White, yeah. But, man, it would be a hard feeling for the Cowboys to give up 2 first rounds or a first and a third, third in next year's first, you know, 2 years in a row first, and they move up to get Thibodeau, you know. We be like, yeah, well, you know, he is a monster, you know. Right? And then I'll have to sit back and I'll be happy for a moment, and then I'll have to reconfigure my mind and say, well, to the world of those picks, right? To the world of those picks, because we're going to be lifting the Lombardi Trophy, and we're going to be picking at 32 anyway, right? So shame on them. Akeem, you ready? Yeah, I'm ready for tonight. Y'all ready for me to go, or y'all want me to stay? Y'all want me to go, or y'all want me to stay? Yeah, I got another excerpt that I can insert into this thing. We off today, and I'll be heading to Las Carolinas. The walk-ons out there, we're gonna be working on some camera angles and everything. We're gonna be at that walk-ons, me and Boss Cowboy, and I think the OC is gonna jump on as well, and we're gonna have a good time. Yeah, keep rolling. All right. First, shout out to you, Marvin. Somebody give me my like report. Let me see how many likes we got. That determines, you know, whether or not y'all like this or not. You know, it's 200 people. We should at least have 120 likes, at least, you know. Come on, Cowboy Nation. A jobbo, you know, at 24. Look, the Cowboys will probably do a jobbo if he fool around and fall to the 56. You know, we will probably pick him up then, or we trade up in the second round and pick up a jobbo. We gonna still take our risk. I think we are. I really, really think we will still take our risk. All right, let me see. And I have it somewhere. As soon as I find it, we'll play it. How about that, Cowboy Nation? I'm looking for that other audio I had. Here we go. All right. Who knows of a fella by the name of Joe Klatt? He went on 1310 the ticket, and he spoke his mind about a few things. And we're going to listen to their audio, and I'm going to bounce off my opinions, my thoughts, and my reasonings with that. And he was on that episode of that podcast yesterday. Appreciate it, man. Sharing is caring, baby. I appreciate y'all, man. Man, y'all love the nation, baby. Y'all love the nation. And if you're watching and you have not liked or shared,
shame.
yeah.
Shame.
Shout out to you, Sadiq, with 129 likes. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you. I ain't too proud to beg, baby. All right, so that at least know the engagement, man, because you know on YouTube they really will put your channel way at the bottom, man, and especially in the Cowboys community. I was on the round table with my frenemies basically, and it was Lord Bronson. It was Louis T, and it was the Giants guy, Bad Dog. And Bad Dog was like, hey, it's only him as the content creator. So when he talks Giants, you know, it rocks because it's only him. And Louis T, it's just Louis T and some other guy. It's just two of them. It's just two or three. It's like literally three Washington Commanders. I'm about to say commodes, but Washington Commander YouTubers out there. But it's 50 million Cowboys content creators. And in that space time, not saying that you got to fight the claw to get yourself up to the top, but man, we are big as a nation. And our voice echoes throughout all platforms. And that's why you see the Eagles, the Washington, the Giants replicating some of the things that the Cowboys content creators do, because we are the originals, right? We the one that everybody kind of like. They kind of piggyback off of. If you really look at it, Jaguars content creator, Panthers content creator, they really picking off of the Cowboys community because we are the originals, right? Come on, let's go with it. Let's go.
On this week specifically for the draft, and you've been doing plenty of work. I see Joel Klatt mocks. I see analysis. I like it all. I want to hear what you think.
Let
as
me know
a
if y'all can hear
general
audio.
view. Is this draft, in your opinion, not quite what we've come to expect of an NFL draft, or what is your overall take on the general product, sir?
It might not have the sizzle of some other drafts at the top, but I think that the first 10, 12 picks are really good, and then it's probably from there pretty deep in the middle. I don't know if it's sensational in the back end of the first round, but I think the second round and the third round are really good. So from that standpoint, you got to remember now, a bunch of these players took an extra COVID year for eligibility, and we've got the third year player that comes out, and we've got the senior. So in some ways, there's 3 years of players that are coming out into this draft. So from that standpoint, there's some depth. And I think that in hindsight, when we view this draft, in a year or 2 or maybe 3, I think we're going to be talking about a lot of players that made significant impacts that were drafted in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, maybe even later.
I was telling Bob, it is.
You know what? I like when I hear that, because about 3 to 4 weeks ago, my guy had said the same thing. And it was Boss Cowboy and as well as Big Game James. And I believe maybe Skywalker and Vach, they were saying the same thing. They was talking about, hey, this draft is in the middle class, is going to be huge or what have you. And to hear that now being echoed, right, that means that everybody doing their independent homework. And I love when I hear things being echoed down to everyone eardrums about, hey, this draft is thick, dog. I'm talking about thick in the middle of it. Front end, about maybe 9 and a possible as it relates to true first-round grades. Now, the name of the game is being patient, not to look at that first-round grade and say, I'm trying to get myself all the way back up to that first-round grade. Nah, those teams deserve to be there. They sucked the previous year, right? Sucky teams supposed to get those good picks according to, keeping the NFL a league that is parity amongst everybody, right? Everybody's supposed to be equal. But the Cowboys picking right at the 24th spot is where we're supposed to be at anyhow, right? But I believe since the thick of all of the draft picks and how they really kind of got everything going in the right direction, slide back. You can get most of those players. Shout out to my guy Eastside Harold, man. Look, Eastside, you in a gold mine, dog. If you start a YouTube page and start talking about your Texans, you'll be the only one. I don't know if there's a Texans content creator out there, but I appreciate you, dog, for coming in and hitting that like and sharing this content, bro. Appreciate you, man. I hope that the Texans do the right thing in the draft this year, right? Do the right thing, Texans. Do the right thing. Draft the right guy. Don't draft Jordan Davis. Don't do that. And please don't draft Devin Lloyd. Let those guys fall back a little bit closer to our pick. Come on, do the right thing. Come on.
It is a weird draft because you don't have that buzz. You don't, and around here we're used to having a local guy, whether it's a quarterback or whoever that's, just some sort of dynamo, whether it's a high school kid or whatever. You don't have that sense here. You don't have really, really high-profile quarterbacks from giant schools. It just seems like the buzz is not there. But like you said, Joel, there are so many people that are in this draft, and that whether it's day 2 or day 3, teams are going to load up.
Right.
Well, let's put it to you this way. Let's just take it to you guys. Dallas, right? So the Cowboys, what are they picking? I think
24.
24, 25?
Yes,
yeah, 24.
Right.
They're sitting at a place where they're going to be able to just sit and get their pick of what I feel like is a really good player at any number of different positions. They're a team that I feel strongly that they can just sit there and say, hey, we're going to take the best player available.
Right.
I don't know who that's going to be or what position it's going to be. Maybe it's going to be offensive line. Maybe it's going to be edge rusher, depending on how they play out. I think all of that is fascinating. You know, I just look at the tail end of the first round, and there's so many questions of, well, who slipped out of the top 10? Who traded up to maybe get a run on wide receivers? Did that run on wide receivers happen? So all of those things are fascinating from my standpoint, and that's what makes tomorrow night so great.
This is Joe Klatt with us, and along the lines of those wide receivers, just about every year we look for like 10 of them in the top 50, and that college football is a very, very fertile ground of producing receivers because of the way the college game is played these days, and 11 personnel and even 10 personnel kind of taking over the scene. So tons of wide receivers and corners are in every draft. But what we saw this year, Joel, was really interesting, and that is the league sort of drawing a line on some level of the veteran receivers and the price points and the cost to trade for them and then to pay them 25 or 30 mil a season. I think a lot of teams are looking at Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase in the last couple of years saying, man, maybe we can replace our franchise wide receiver with one of these kids at a fifth of the price. It's
low key. That's the game plan of the Cowboys with CeeDee Lamb. They're pretty much hedging their bet that CeeDee Lamb will elevate to a degree, whereas although we're pretty much moving furniture around, angry, upset about Amari Cooper, they are hoping that if you insert Lamb, right, as the focal point of this offense, that if he can get 14 to 15 TDs, or if we can just get on this run at this thing, with Lamb, it'll make you forget about that $20 million that you was about to pay Amari Cooper. It's just that how the Cowboys handle it and not getting anything in return kind of like rocks the ship a little bit. It sways the mind, right? So my thing is, Cowboy Nation, here's the thing. If they did that then they may be looking at it like, hey, do you really want to pay Lamb $28 to $30 million when his contract is up? I can tell you Stephen Jones already looking like, if we can go ahead and start the process now, maybe the bleeding won't be that messy when it's time for us to move on from him, if he's not willing to take what we're trying to pay him, right? And they hoping and they banking on, too, that Gallup, when he get back, that Gallup will be the Gallup before he got, hurt. So that's what they're looking at. Lamb, Gallup, and Burks. This is from Jackie. I can see that combination.
interesting how the league walked away from Tyreek Hill, of all people. Right. I mean, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
I mean, think of the guys out there. This is certainly a good wide receiver draft, and they're so eclectic. This is like this group this year. I just feel like they're all so different, which I love. You don't have a bunch of the same type of player. Garrett Wilson is like this very polished all-around player. Then you've got Drake London, who's kind of a physical freak, basketball background, big frame, can play inside the slot, a dynamo after the catch in terms of yards after catch and broken tackles.
So
Olave is smooth, certainly fits a team that wants to go down the field and play action. Jameson Williams can absolutely fly, take the top off the defense. You got Treylon Burks, a dynamo from the slot, who can, seriously was basically their offense at Arkansas. Everything ran through him, the screen game and so on and so forth. Got Jahan Dotson, 5'11", plays like he's 6'3". He can go up the ladder. Yeah, I mean, he's phenomenal, and he doesn't even get talked about a lot.
Yeah.
And he's a guy that could easily be in the back end of the first round. He could easily be one of those players that we're talking about that replaces, let's just say, a Devontae Adams. What if the Packers go ahead and take Jahan Dotson? He could be Aaron Rodgers' favorite target next year, and that would not be out of the realm of possibility.
So, from the Cowboy angle, sitting there at 24, like we said, and we were talking about this about an hour ago, about what direction they might go. There's a lot of holes on the offensive line. They've got Randy Gregory left, so there's an edge rusher position that's open. They lose Amari Cooper. They picked up James Washington, but they certainly don't have that a receiver outside of CeeDee Lamb, unless they might. But what if they had their pick of all three? What direction do you think they should go in, or what would you go in?
I think it just depends on their board and who's left at that time. Like Trevor Penning is an interesting one on the offensive line. I wonder if they would maybe go guard. You never know.
Right.
I think that might be a reach, and then it depends on the edge rushers who slips and who doesn't. There's some consensus around the league that after you get past the 4 premier edge rushers, so we're talking about, let's just say it's Hutchinson, Walker, Thibodeau, and Johnson, that after you get past that, there are really good players, but there's some question whether they're first-round material on the edge. Now, I think a guy like George Karlaftis is first-round material, and he is the type of player that I would want on my team. He plays so hard, can get after the quarterback, and just never stops.
Now, I did a video about George Karlaftis a couple of days ago, and man, baby, I got crucified with some of you guys, man. I didn't know some of you guys are not that high on George Karlaftis. Some people looking at it like, hey, he don't have any bend. Y'all put him in the same mindset of a Taco Charlton, and I was like, come on, bro. There's two different calibers of players, but I absolutely understand. Like, you look at his production level, and you'll say, man, 4.5 sacks. That's the first thing people do. They pull up the stats, and they say, hey, 4.5, man, that ain't really squeezing anything out, man. I want at least. Sam Williams had 12 last year. You got Jermaine Johnson had 11 or something like that. They looking for those stats. But when you look at the complete game, he's a stellar against the run, and he throws around 380 like it's nothing, right? And just pull up his Twitter account and look up his workout regimens. The dude got a motor that don't turn off. And George Karlaftis, yes, that bull rush is there and it's prevalent. But when you contextualize it, and if you pick up George, and let's say if you put him on, you think about it before y'all get to saying, no, man, Karlaftis, trash. You pick up Karlaftis and you put him on Ohio State, right? Or you pick him up and you put him on Georgia's team or Bama, It'll be in a whole another conversation. We'd have been talking about this guy in a different point of view. Like, we've been really talking about him like way up there with Aiden Hutchinson and all of those other boys. But I get it, right? I get it. Sometimes you can be from a different program and stand out, and then sometimes you can be from a program and just get dismissed. But even Joey Bosa, not Nick Bosa, in his junior year or what have you, had 5 sacks, right? Less pressures than what George Karlaftis did last season. And quarterback hits, he had like 30 QB hits, 45 pressures. That's a lot, man. And I believe north of 20 tackles for loss. All of those numbers eclipse of what Joey Bosa was able to do at Ohio State. But I'm not saying that George Karlaftis is a Joey Bosa, right? But the same type of swim moves and techniques and power bull rush, I'm seeing the same thing, But it is what it is. Jay Lombardi said, same song, same old song, right? Nick Bonito is a sleeper. Yeah, I like Nick. Nick will have to go to a team that knows how to use Nick Bonito. He just can't go to any team. Yep, he's got to go to a team like the Cowboys that know how to use or utilize their front. And I think Nick will fit well with this system as well. Let's go. And I'm not saying the Cowboys should ultimately only look at George Karlaftis, right? But they should pay attention to their draft board and select the BPA.
Is that a guy you could possibly take? Or what if, I'm just throwing it out there, what if you're sitting there and Jamison Williams is still on the board.
Shoot.
Take him.
And the Chiefs are dying to trade up. Do you trade out of that, or do you take him? So there are so many scenarios for Dallas. Right
Tonight,
now, they're one of the teams
we would
that
know.
when I go through the board, when I talk with people around the league, there's literally they could go one of 5 different directions.
All right, so you are a quarterback. You study the position. You know it very well. I greatly respect your opinion, which is why it gave me some sadness that our quarterback evaluations seem to be directly opposed to each other. So as opposed to arguing on why you're more correct than I am,
First, you got to tell me yours.
I really like Desmond Ritter.
Show me yours, and I'll show you mine.
Okay,
Yuck.
I liked Ritter, and then so I gave him a first, second. I don't really think there's a first round quarterback in this draft, if you don't mind me.
So he was your number 1.
He was my number 1, and then Pickett 2, Willis 3, and then Howell and Corral have similar, kind.
I think the rest of this podcast on this one, they primarily just going to talk about quarterbacks and not even on the topic line of who the Cowboys should select, by the way. But shout out to 1310 The Ticket. Be sure to check them out and to listen to the full audio. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick, the shareable link. You guys bear with me right quick. I'm going to pull this link up so that you all can listen to the full audio of that. Okay. Diggs is all pro, yep. And bam. Click there, go down to the episode of Joe Klatt, and you can listen to the full audio of what they're going to talk about as far as the quarterback. And they were going to talk about quarterback going to the Atlanta Falcons, and I think they go into details of even the Saints talking about getting the quarterback or what have you. And I'm not in the conversation of talking about quarterback right now. The Cowboys are not going to draft a quarterback. But don't sleep on our kicker, 6 in the 7th round. I don't think we have a 7th round draft pick, but they do like Dicker, the kicker, though, if you're a Texas Longhorn guy, right? Let's see where we at now. Okay, we're 241. Let's see if we can play Jerry Wayne Jones audio. They got Jerry Jones. What they got Jerry Jones doing right now?
This is Dan McDowell for Texans Can Cars.
So George went on a rant, the Cowboys and Jerry, what we heard yesterday in that press conference, pre-draft press conference.
Okay.
Well, joining us now to respond to that rant in that segment is the Cowboys owner and GM, Jerry Jones.
Jerry!
Been listening to your show, and I hear that George is more worked up than a Holstein on insemination day. Who put a bee in your jockstrap, Chief? You need to calm down before you give yourself a coronary.
Well, I guess I did. I guess you did, and it's basically on the last 26 years of performance.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what, you getting ready to tick me off is what you're about to do. I'm going to come down there and put a Pepsi-branded boot up your ass. Teach you a little something about wildcat
It's
respect.
fake Jerry, man.
I think you're just mad because I fired your bottom butt for sucking at your PA job.
No, well, I probably did suck, but you know what? I wouldn't do PA in that stadium anyway. It sucks.
You suck. This stadium's better than you.
Let's settle down.
It's not a football stadium. It's
your TT's green, aren't you? I tell you, you're just jealous because I get more gate attendant ass than you ever have.
I don't care.
Get your damn act together. Don't like your attitude.
He kind of close to him.
I don't care about that. And all you do is you just run an art gallery over there in Arlington. It's not a football stadium.
I'm running this team to extreme success. We're doing just fine. We're selling out every game, and we've entered into a partnership with Blockchain.com.
I don't care about that. Cowboy fans don't care about that.
I say this franchise is in place to win the Super Bowl of crypto. Super Bowl of crypto.
Well, yippee skippy.
Come on, all you skateboard men, let's doge together. And hey, another thing, number 24 didn't kill nobody.
Oh,
he was just having fun at a club, same as I do. Never got me in any trouble.
Okay, well, I don't know about that.
Too soon, man. Too soon for that.
Why you hate number 24 so much?
I don't hate him, and I'm not saying throw him in prison. I'm just wondering if he should be around your facility when he was around a murder.
what's his name again? I can't remember his name.
Kelvin Joseph.
Yeah, that's right, Kevin Joseph. He didn't kill nobody. I just call him number 24 because that's the number he wore last year.
Yeah, that's how scouts talk.
By the way, that's the same number as Everson Walls.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what we like to call Kelvin, our Everson Wall of silence. Don't talk to cops.
Yeah.
Don't tell them anything.
I figured.
By the way, we're drafting.
Y'all can literally see why 1310 the ticket is no longer the official Cowboys radio station. Those boys are wild.
Number 24.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah. Did you?
Think that's a coincidence? Number 24 again. See there?
Yeah.
I think it's the Freemasons synchronizing the universe there. So we may need to draft a quarterback to replace Kelvin in case he's doing 10 to 20. But
wow. Well, yesterday you said you wouldn't, you wouldn't look at another corner. No need to, right?
No need to. He's completely safe. Believe me, I've talked to my lawyers. By the way, my lawyers are the ones who were against me on the whole Alexander Davis thing. They did such a good job, I went ahead and hired them for this. I tell you who I'd really like to draft tomorrow. I'm hoping tomorrow I can draft my grandson, John Paul George Stevens Jones.
Might as well. Wow. The guy who can't play, go ahead and draft him.
In this family's history.
Yeah.
I tell you what, speaking of family, I sure hope John Paul George Stevens doesn't catch a little of that GSA for his new Aunt Alexandra at our next family picnic.
Jeez.
Hey, they're about the same age, you know. You don't know how those things go. I mean, he's got pretty good judgment and is pretty self-controlled, but if old Veruca Alexandra shows up in one of them skinny little halter tops and a pair of Arkansas Daisy Dukes, all bets are off.
That doggone Jerry.
Help me out here. If they had a baby kid together, what would it be called from me? Great baby, great grandbaby, grandchild. Just
that's a tough one to score, Jerry. I don't know what to tell you on that one.
Yeah, their baby kid as opposed to their baby adult. That would be tough.
Right. I tell you, life's been rough. That's why your words hurt me so much, Jub.
Sorry.
Life's been so rough lately.
I'm sorry. You have had a tough off season.
I know, and my back is killing me because Gene has me sleeping in the Cato Kalin house since the news broke.
Yeah, I can believe that.
I sure wish Charlotte would hurry up and get divorced before I end up with 12 more new kids.
Yeah, don't put it on that proceeding.
I tell you, that ex of hers sure ain't shy about dragging skeletons out of our closet.
Wow, boy, they.
And I tell you, it's always worrisome because this family's got more dirty laundry than Chinatown. I withdraw it.
Okay. All right. That's probably a good idea.
We're being prudent.
How do you let this go on the radio?
We are.
Yes.
All right. Listen, George, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I guess I'm sorry too. I was really angry.
Sit down. What are you drinking? Let's do this again.
You guys have been through this before.
We'll sit down and have a drink.
All right. Good morning.
All right. Good morning.
That doggone 1310 the ticket. Boy, I'm telling you, they hold back no punches talking about Jerry Wayne and things. I can hear Jerry right now.
Get your damn act together.
Oh, my gosh, man. Check out 1310 the ticket. Those are my guys, too. See, I'm neutral. I got 1310 the ticket on one end. I got 105 on the other. Y'all let me know who do you guys like the best, 1310 or 105 to the final match of death, you know. But they know holds bar over there at 1310. Shout out to those guys. Cowboy Nation, I got to completely finish setting up everything. I got camera stuff that I got to pack together. I got to go take this there, and I got to go take that there, and move that around and move that around there. So any more information out throughout the day, be sure to hit that notification bell. Sharing is caring. Oh, at the end of the day, that was just a bit. That wasn't really, some people really thought that was Jerry Wayne and things. Nah, Jerry don't talk like that. But those guys, if you ever listen to them, they hold back no punches. And shout out to Norm Hiskis, shout out to Gordo and all of those other boys, Donnie and everybody at 1310 the ticket. But stay neutral, Law. Yeah, I'm neutral, man. You know, I'm neutral. I'm not finna pick or pull no sides. I think that in this space, It's always a battle to be on top, right? It's always a battle to be number one, and let the people decide. Don't try to always beat your chest and say, "Hey, I'm number one." At the end of the day, we don't give a hill of a beans of who's number one. We just want to see. Look, I kid you not. That stretch of years when we was 5-11, growing up, at that time I was still living in Natchez, and I would literally tell my friends or what have you, I just want to see my team play. I just want to see my team play. I used to get angry and upset when they flipped the game over to the Saints or they flipped the game over to the Atlanta Falcons, because in that region that they didn't have direct TV like they have now. And I said, man, I just want to see my team play, win, lose, or draw. Who's like that? Show of hands of the people like that in the chat. You just want to see your team play, win, lose, or draw. Now, when it comes with it, right, you want to be able to brag and say, yeah, my team is number one. But at the end of the day, I believe you guys are just like me. You just want to see your team play. And regardless of the political football part of it, or who got shot and who got ran over by a car, or who didn't pay their taxes, we don't care about that. We just want to see the product. The other byproduct is all of the other stuff that naturally down the line people start to bring up, right? And people start to make careers off of talking bad about players in general. Remember, journalists never used to take direct aim at players, right? And people used to do it, but only in the confines of their living room. But what happened over a course of 20 years or such, people began to have their mindset of going on national TV and talking ill of players, right? And I believe if you really get into the details of it, the Stephen A's of the world, it's a bad product for the sports community, because he talked ill will of players like he played the game, like he was in the uniform, right? Like what he said about Ben Simmons, right? About what he said at the UFC fight. And then Joe Rogan was like, hey, man, come on, bro. You don't do that. I put you in the ring one second, you fold up like a wallet. So I get it, right? People take personal aims and personal jab at players like no other, right? And what YouTube does and Facebook and all of these other communities, they allow it, right? And I agree, you should have your personal opinion. But, baby, it's a different type of atmosphere when you're in that uniform, right? When you don't have any control of what the offense is doing and you're on the defensive side. And he's saying like, hey, I just want to get one more play in. Or when you're on a defensive side and you seeing the offense getting jacked up, or when you're on the offense and you see the defense giving up plays, there's nothing you can do. And that's why I always look at football as a complete team sport. It's not an individual, but it's a story of a different day. Shout out to you, Brian. Shout out to you, Bobby Ward. Shout out to you, Sadiqua. C. Nick. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. Sharon is caring. Shout out to you, AJ Jones. Shout out to you, Reed, for the 200 stars. Eric the Red, appreciate you for the 200 stars. And anyone else, JJ Newton says he's hype if we get Davis, Green, or Jay Will in round one. Right? That's Jameson Williams, right? If you're talking about Jay Will. Shout out to you, Simmons, for the 1,000 stars on the Facebook. Appreciate you. And my guy, Money Making Mall, it says, I know it's unlikely, but I imagine us moving up to get Jay Davis, then moving up again, giving up a certain draft pick to go get Lloyd. That will be crazy. And he said that about an hour ago, Money Making Mall. I'm just reading through all of the comments there. And shout out to you, Cowboys Sports Report by Charles in Charge. Be sure to check him out and check out even Cowboys Sports Report. with Tom Downey and all of those boys. Cowboy Nation, let's continue to grind as we pull the plug on this episode. Be sure to understand and know that tonight is going to be a good party, the draft party. Teams will change. There will be something crazy and idiotic that will happen. Right? Stephen White says, do your best, y'all, today. Yeah. All love. Shout out to you, Brian Cloud. Appreciate you. Cowboy Nation. Win, lose, or draw, Hector. Yeah. Win, lose, or draw. That's what we're looking for. And today it starts now, like Stephen White says, right? And let's reformulate and recalculate our minds to do such. Appreciate Cowboys' experience. We're going to have a great time tonight, and they will be also in the building. And for those who are out there having any reservations, you can stop it, because tonight is about having a good night. Yeah, we'll do the draft show tonight. King, appreciate you. PVO, yeah, we love that. Positive vibes only. Let me stop that one. I want to do a longer one. I really want to get this off my mind. Right? Cowboy Nation, and thank those who support the nation all the way, all around, and for those who even took this week off, right? They said, man, you know what? I'm going to take this whole week off so we can focus and concentrate on the Cowboys. And shout out to Miss Jackie. She flew in all the way to Vegas. And I think my guy Jay Tuck, he's going to be out there in Vegas too, to watch the actual draft ceremony and everything like that. And I think that's a good situation. It's a good vibe to be in, right? To be around those who look like you with that silver and blue on. This is a family, baby. And this moment right here is what we're waiting for. The ability to change the outcome of the mindset of your team. The new revelation is right here, Cowboy Nation. Without hesitations nor deviations to the matter, that this team last year, yes, we came short of what we wanted to happen. There's one or two plays that can define the game. And believe it or not, there's one or two guys that you can get out of this draft that can change that defining moment for your team heading into the 2022 season. Do we know who that player is? No. We don't know. But ultimately, just like I'm finna tell webcam chat to lean forward just a little bit. Right there. As we block them from this screen, who is willing to defend and block for us? Who is willing to keep the quarterback upright? And if not, who is willing? Who is willing to catch a little tonal screen, stiff arm someone, and get upfield? Right? Who is willing to make something happen? There's three type of people in this planet. A person, they go out there and make something happen. A person or a team that watch things happen. And then there is this person that say, hey, what just happened? We don't want to be the people that's guessing and watching. We want to be that person that go out there and make something happen. So clawing out of your minds and hearts and simulations of your thoughts, shout out to you, Gallup Anthony, for the $20 donation to help relegate and elevate this nation. But pull this together, Cowboy Nation. How bad do you want it? I tell you this right now, write this down, and I've been saying it for over 2 years now on this channel. If you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it. If all of your desires of it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired of it, and it makes you hold all other things tawdry and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you'll gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, and plan for it, and lose all terror of your mind for it, if you will simply, just simply go after the thing you want. If dogged and grim and besieged and besetted Cowboy Nation, guess what? Oh yes, guess what? You will get it. Many people check out of the race right before they cross the finish line. Many people give up on their dreams and their hopes right before it's time to check in. But I want you guys right now to check in. Lock in with Law Nation. Lock in with this team. Lock in with this opportunity in this moment. We don't fold up like a wallet or a lawn chair. We take our licks, we shake it off, and we stand right back into the fight. Throw me into the fire. You know, right now, you see only one person on flames right now, but if you open your eyes, there's multiple people in here right now battling in the flames with me. I know that I got a group of people that I can depend on that's willing to fight with me, grind with me, right? I go live at 1 o'clock at night. You're here. And if you can't be here, you're waking up at 8 saying, I'm watching some Law Nation. Man, I need my heart to be pumping with this information that rules the nation, that this guy spit out of his mouth without hesitations nor deviation to the matter. The Cowboys are back, baby, and everyone else, they sitting out here looking. They watching this happen right now, because they know for sure. Win, lose, or draw, we here. And that player is going to get drafted tonight. It's going to change and make an impact for this team. Far beyond for what they thought. What we did last year, we finna get this thing going the best way possible. Speaking of time, that's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. We up out. Salute. Let's freeze it. I love all the fire, baby. Let's go. Come on. Hey. Yo.
Nowadays, nothing really is insightful. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on blinging, she icy. Freeze. Photo. Please. No photos. No. Jeez. No. Please. No photos. Hit the door and the door just whole team here might need some. Still young, but
shout
I'm
out to you, Jay.
If it down in my management, come on. I'm just warming up, wait till I. Old producers saw the numbers one. Different colors in my baggy light. Chalk it up.
Too cold, I see you. Charles in charge.
Wanna get you new things when your pockets go. Run it up.
Hey.
I used to be quiet and out of luck.
Sony. Appreciate you.
Mama telling me count up your blessings and run it up. Nowadays, nothing really insightful. Only one of me and nobody's like me.
Come on, let's roll those credits again. Let's roll them. Come on. Hey, ho. Satiqua. Let's go.
I put game on layaway.
Right.
I got paid to play today.
Right.
I get paid to stay away.
Come on.
I get paid on rainy days. I might make it rain today. I got paid off pain today. Thought it'd take the pain away. In my own lane, finger roll. I would never sell my only soul. Heard your whole team was for sale. Heard it's on the market for the low.
If you don't
who
like
the realest,
this
we might
spring,
never know. All this acting, you gon' play a role. Give you the world when they sign you up. Try you out and then they line you up.
Oh.
Now you're looking hungry, ribs are touching, need some food.
It's your birthday this month.
Now you're all on live like this, surprise, but you was fool. Boy, get out the way, it's been a day, now you're old news. Now you got the pen and pad, you're trying to take my moves. Nowadays, nothing
Come on,
really
baby.
insightful. Only one of me
If you're watching all the way to this point and you're not on fire and you still watching and you're not sharing this, come on.
No, please, no photos. Nowadays, nothing really insightful. Only one of me and nobody. I
Come
tell
on.
him it's I got wifey on bling and she freeze, photo.
We about, baby. One love, Cowboy Nation. Let's continue to grind and shine out of your mind. Be sure to let a friend or a neighbor know where to go. They want to tune in to Cowboy Sports Talk and beyond.
Take a drag of my cigarette. Breathe me out, breathe you in, yeah. Take a bite of my burger, babe. Save the last bite for you, Ooh. Don't let the street lights lead you all alone. You know it's dangerous to go alone. Don't let the street lights hit you. Can I be your player too? I'll follow wherever you go, whatever you do. Player too. 7 years of a perfect love, 7 more and another one, and another one. Finding you was the one I loved. 7 wonders all in one, all in one. Don't let the street lights lead you all alone. You know it's dangerous to go alone. You get nothing. Don't let the street lights hit you. Can I be your player too? I'll follow wherever you go, whatever you do. Player too. If a paper crane can fly,
I won't
then
miss
forever
your help.
doesn't feel that far. So far, so far. If a paper crane can fly, then forever doesn't feel that far. So far, so far. If a paper